In this video, we are going to talk about how to create custom scenes for your color-changing landscape lighting system. So, the first thing I like to make sure of is that I have a room up top for all of my scenes to live, which I do. Perfect. So, the first scene that I always like to make is to turn all of my lights back to a warm white color that I will use most of the year. So, the way to do that, instead of going into each device manually and going and hitting the warm white button and finding the color temperature I like, is I would like to just have a button that I press that does it for all of my lights. So I'm going to, at the bottom of my screen, hit the Smart button, and then in the upper right hand corner, I'm going to hit the plus symbol, and then I want to create a scene. Unlike the timer video, I am going to select Launch Tap to Run. For this one, it only asks for a task. So I'm going to hit Add Task, and I want to control a device. I prefer using the single device just because it's simpler to use and it's harder to mess up. So I would like to select a single device. And now this is where it can get cumbersome. So here it lists every single device I have. I could very easily go into each and every single tree and go to the white color and find the white color temperature that I like, which for me is 310, and I like full brightness, and I like to make sure that the power is on just to be safe. And I could repeat that as many times for as many lights as I have. But the easier way, I'm just gonna click, hold, and drag to delete that scene. So now I'm back to normal. The easier way is to use the groups that we created. So I'm gonna go back to device, select single device, and now if I go back to my groups, I already created a group for every single light on this property. So I'm going to select all lights. Again, I always like just making sure that that power is on. And now I am going to input my color temperature, which again, for me, what I like is 310. I'm going to hit done. Oh, I needed to delete the 0 beforehand. Now let me hit done. So I now have the power on. I have my white color temperature selected. And now all I have to do is hit confirm and then hit save. I like just calling it something nice and simple that's easy to know. Hit confirm. And now I have a all white. So now what I want to do is I want to go back to my home screen. And I want to go all the way to my scenes group, and I want to go to room management, scenes, and I want to hit tap to run. So now I want to add that all white group that I just created. Gonna hit back. Perfect. So now in my scenes I have all white. If I go ahead and select this, it's going to ask a confirmation. Do I want to make sure that all of my lights are warm white? Yes, I do. Hit confirm, hit OK. And now I can go and I can look inside each one of these, and they will all be, gives it a second, warm white. There we go. They can take a minute or two to change. So that is one way to create a scene. Now let's say we want to create a Christmas scene to have everything be red and green. This is why the groups are so important. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit create scene. I'm going to launch tap to run. I'm going to hit add task, device, select single device, and in the last video we created 2 groups for odds and evens. So I want my evens first, and I'm going to this time select an RGB color, and it automatically comes up as red. So perfect. I'm going to leave that as red. I'm going to hit confirm. Now I want to add the odd color group in. Device. Select single device. To color group odd. Select RGB color. And now I'm just going to go to this green there. Beautiful. And let's say that when the lights turn on and you turn this pattern on, you don't like that green, you can just come back into this tap to run, get back to this screen here, and you can just adjust and play with this scale to find the right color that you're looking for. Now I'm going to call this one Christmas. And then same thing, gonna go back to the 3 lines up top, room management, scenes, tap to run. I'm gonna add my Christmas scene there. Beautiful. So now, if I go back to my scenes room, I have an all white scene and I have a Christmas scene. So the key to creating custom scenes is understanding which fixtures you want to do what color is the most important thing. So if you are trying to do a 2-color pattern, you want to create groups that are odds and evens, or 2 lights in a row and then the next 2 lights in a row, and then so on and so forth. If you want to create a 3-color group, then you just create, or a 3-color scene, then you would create 3 different groups. And this is why I name them the silly ways I do. For my 3 color groups, and let's just go ahead and create one for an example. I have 3 back path lights. So I'm gonna just hit create group. Just hit save. 3 color group A. And again, I want this to live in groups. So I'm going to hit finish. And then I'm going to go to the next light, create group, save, and I want 3 color group B. And I want this in groups again. Beautiful. Go back. Now add the last one. Create group. Save. 3. So now I just created 3 more groups for a 3-color pattern. So 4th of July, I can do red, white, and blue. Easter, I could do a pink, a teal, and a gold. Sporting teams, different things like that. And you can go in, and once you figure out what other lights you want to be in this same group, you can just hit the edit button, group devices, and you can add those devices that you want into that group. So let's say I want front of Creek 5 and then North Maple, and I'll just use those as an example. Perfect. So now I can go back and I can create an automation, create scene, launch tap to run, device, single device. Again, go to my groups. Color group A, I want to be red. Color group, select single device. Color group B, I want to be white. When I'm doing white for a color pattern, I like to make sure my color temperature is all the way to the right to be the brightest white color I can get. Hit confirm. And same thing, device, single device, 3 color group C. Now I need to find my blue. Perfect. So I just created a red, white, and blue pattern. Call it perfect. And then I want to, again, add this into my scenes home screen. Oops, hit the wrong button. Hit the 3 lines, room management, scenes, tap to run, 4th of July. Perfect. And that is how you can create any and all custom scenes you want.